see where I changed
I will
the
come
link?
help you with
Is that a link to it?
it. Which is like,
Well, I just
have the
went
inboard
into
come
the
help me.
Secretary of
That's pretty
State's
good.
You know, you don't screw
website.
it
That
up.
would be the link.
Totally. That's
No,
awesome.
there's one, I sent you a second one.
You did?
Yes, I said, oops, I made a mistake.
Okay, let me find that.
God, Terry. Let's read your emails.
Terry.
Cheese and rice.
So, I can engage, oh, this one, okay. I think it's the same. Okay,
Is that it, Sharon?
That's Amore.
that's what?
Amore.
Oh, what, I'm sorry.
Greg Amore.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Secretary of State, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Is that it, Sharon?
That's it.
That's it. What I did, I just went right
You
to the
went to
agenda.
mine, the first
Well,
one.
no, but I did, yeah, was that the
You went to where
agenda?
you go, right,
Okay, so I assume we've got some time constraints, so we'll jump in and we'll do call to order and the roll call at 5 p.m. Kenny Burke here.
Oh, Terry Murphy?
John Desmond.
Karen Desmond.
Chloe Lampier.
Charles David.
Sharon Henderson. Laurel Clark.
Kate Sullivan.
Russ Denoto.
Mark Phillips.
Okay, thank you very much. We have 4, we have a quorum. So we'll do the approval of minutes, it says July 15th. And okay, you sent out 2 sets of minutes?
So I sent out the July 15th minutes, and then I sent out a revised minutes from, I think it was the June 24th maybe, where
Yep.
Sharon had requested an update or revision.
Okay.
We had approved the minutes pending the revision, that was the revision.
Okay, so do you want to have a motion to approve the updated June 24th minutes?
Make a motion, we approve the June 24th minutes as amended.
One second.
Any other discussion on the June 24th minutes? Sharon, I don't know if you had a chance to look at them.
It's fine.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes. Then we go on to the July 15th minutes. If anybody had a chance to take a look at them.
Yep, I make a motion, we approve the July 15th minutes.
I have corrections.
Okay, so is there a second?
I'd like to second.
Okay, under discussion.
Okay, under discussion, number 1, upon request, the item titled Potential Coordination with the VFW Purple Heart Trail was moved to the appropriate topic, military recognition. Item number 2 on the agenda, the adjustment changed the order of the discussion.
I'm sorry.
Should be noted.
All right, so,
So like it was moved to, we moved at the meeting, we moved it over to military
Gotcha.
recognition. And it was not in the writing of the minutes.
okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry, is the person who's gonna make the correction, can you please slow it down and tell me precisely what changes you would like in the minutes?
Submit upon request, that means it was requested.
What page are you on?
I'm on the very first page of the minutes.
Okay.
You have reported under discussion
Mm-hmm.
that the potential new coordination of the VFW 206 Purple Heart Trail.
Yep.
We moved that to military recognition upon request.
During the July 15th discussion or going forward?
During the July 15th discussion.
So your objection is to the placement
The
of that
order,
language?
the adjustment changed the order of the discussion, it should be noted.
Yeah, I don't remember how we talked about it. I mean, if this is the order that we talked about it, then that's the minutes.
Well,
But-
I think it is the person who's doing the minutes, I need some clarification. Are the minutes a transcript of this meeting, in which case we've got to flow with the flow of the meeting, or are the minutes really tracking on the agenda? Because we frequently don't follow the agenda, and the minutes try to. So
Yeah.
it's kind of which way do we want to go?
That's a
I'm
good-
happy to accommodate, but I need one set of direction.
I think that's a good point. So I think my preference would be if we have an agenda, we should report our minutes in those agenda items. If we switch the order, I don't think that's substantive enough to warrant changing things.
I make a motion that you stick with the order.
Okay, so we already had a second. We're still
But
on
we
the
can't
discussion.
do another motion on it because of this, okay, so we can go afterwards and make a motion.
So is there any other discussion on the topic? I mean, I don't, honestly, I would defer, we can defer this, and why don't we just ask the town clerk or solicitor? I think the council regularly takes things out of orders, but I don't know how they do their minutes. And if they're in the practice of readjusting their minutes to mimic the flow of the actual meeting, then that's fine too.
May I just make one suggestion?
Sure.
Within any step in the agenda, conversation can go all over the place
Sure.
and even touch on other agenda items that either Ken can let continue or Ken can say, let's hang on to that for 10 minutes until we get to that moment. I mean, that would just seem to me to be a reasonable, realistic way to take minutes. In other words, you follow the agenda, but where your conversation on any one item is to go elsewhere and then come back to that, that's part of the record of the actual meeting. That would just be
Yeah, can
my.
I say that that wasn't what happened? What happened was we asked if we could move it down, this topic, to the military recognition part of the agenda, and it was said okay, and it was moved there.
Oh, okay, well,
Okay.
yeah.
And I think to Kate's point though, again, our intention is not to have a transcript of the entire meeting. So it's really something to memorialize actions and decisions. But we can ask for some
Yeah, I'll
clarity.
get clarification.
Yeah, that's fine.
So how about the motion and second? Should we have a vote or?
You could withdraw your motion and we could defer this until next month.
Okay, I'll withdraw my motion. We'll defer till our next meeting on the third Thursday, the third Tuesday.
All right, I believe there was a second objection to the minutes as well. Was there a typo or something that you pointed out, or was it just that one item?
No, I have, the first one was the moving it. I
Okay.
have 4 mistakes.
Oh, you've got 4 mistakes,
yes.
okay.
I go over with the fine tooth comb, that's why I like to get it early. It was never mentioned during that discussion that I distributed this, I distributed this sample draft handcrafted history of Purple Heart card featuring his minutes, and just all it says I distributed. It was never mentioned that this was distributed.
All right, we should
That's
have
number 2.
2
Number
more.
3, during that discussion, which was under military, I suggested a group walk or creation of a new Purple Heart Trail in South Kingston so more local citizens could participate in that commemorative activity. That was never mentioned.
Fourth,
Under military recognition, Chairman Kenny Burke clearly asked the liaison, Terry Murphy, of South Kingstown South Kingstown, Terry Murphy to speak with Town Manager Jim Manny about allowing the proposed new monument to be treated as a single source or sole source RBFP. That was never noted in the notes.
was that in the July 15th meeting or June 24th?
July 15th. That was all at the same time.
Is there anything else, Sharon?
No, I'm not sure if this is under the right one. I don't know if it's under the right one. It really doesn't matter. It's about your feelings about the reasons for opposing the idea of South Kingston Town Council should be involved in approving or requiring resignations, and you were pretty adamant about what your feelings were about that, and that was never noted. It should be reflected in the record.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, moving on. Chair's report. Actually, I'm going to ask the committee if we can swap items A and B, and let's talk about committee rules and guidelines. I think this came out of some guidance from the solicitor as we had kind of put our toe in the water And we wanted to understand what we should do for a minimum, a quorum, minimum number of folks. So, in that regard, there was like the door open slightly to say, you know what, you don't have any bona fide procedures that were written. You're an ad hoc committee. I don't think the 300th committee had been asked to do this, but I feel like for our group that it probably makes sense. And forgive me in the lateness of my email, but I'm not sure if you can pull this up, Terry. You're kind of grabbing this, or I can plug it in.
Your
But I
email?
did
Yeah.
send out just earlier today some, I'll be completely honest, I did a lot of Google research, all of about 15 minutes, cross-reference with ChatGPT, and out pops standard guidance for an ad hoc committee. So I figured we should talk about this so we have something as a matter of record as far as how we see ourselves managing our committee. And I mean, this is kind of an open discussion. This is a starting point. I clearly said this is draft because it's intended for us to talk about the nature of our committee, what is we're supposed to do, how long we're supposed to do it, provide some guardrails, I guess. I'll just quickly go through what I transmitted electronically to the group. Item 1, formation and purpose, the establishment. It's pretty straightforward. Town of South Kingstown, Town Council established us. Committee charge, I took this from our website. Term limits, I've just suggested that we are an ad hoc committee, and after we finished our purpose, we will expire. You can fill in the blank as far as when that is.
Just a point of information, that was established within the resolution of the council establishing the committee. So somewhere in that resolution,
They give a date.
it gives a date.
Perfect.
So I can look
Yep.
that up.
Membership appointments are by the council. Nobody else can appoint any members. I didn't go into a deep dive as far as, keeping the membership application period open. It is open now. Composition, I think the only qualification is that you have to be a South Kingstown resident. I kept a low bar intentionally. Conflict of interest, this is a standard, I didn't massage this at all. This is standard language. I think it applies to any board or commission, but I just took standard language and put it up there. The member roster, this is emulating the guidance from the solicitor and the town clerk. Officers, this is noteworthy, so I'm suggesting that we expand the officers. I'm the chair. I think we should have a vice chair. We have a secretary as well. There will be times where I can't make meetings, and I don't think we should not have a meeting if I can't attend. So I think we should round that out. Meeting schedule, we had talked about the first and third Tuesdays of each month. And then flexibility to drop back to monthly as our programs are moving forward. The public meetings and transparency, this is just, again, straight language from the Google sphere. I did add that the second bullet was to, thanks, Bill, restrict our meetings, and I say should be restricted to 90 minutes to give us some latitude, flexibility. And then standard language as far as posting meeting agendas and the minutes. I do ask, I did put it in the last bullet here, for new topics of discussion, that we have electronic versions of information
Printed a few of these.
so that
You might have to share them.
we can contemplate these new initiatives in advance of the meeting. The quorum, again, we previously discussed this at 4 members, we took a vote on it. Decision-making, it's good practices to be collaborative.
Terry.
And finally, responsibilities and reporting, the scope of our committee, the final report, and dissolution. So that is a large chunk of information. And my apologies for not getting this into the original agenda, but I did feel like we should have something already. Yes?
Can I say something out of fairness to the entire committee? I believe we all deserve a chance to review and reflect on these procedures before asking to vote. This affects how every one of us participate moving forward. I move we postpone the adoption of the draft procedures until the committee's had an adequate time to review and consider the alternatives.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Under discussion, was there anything in particular that was concerning for you, Chairman?
Yeah,
Is it good to have things in advance of a meeting so you can think about them and vote? Yeah, okay.
I'd like to have our current edition of Robert's Rules of Order as our parliamentary procedure. Because I think we want this committee to operate fairly and consistently. Right now, things feel a little improvised and decided, and we need structure that represents everyone's equality.
Okay, could you give an example of inequality?
Can't put the agenda as all the design when we get here. We don't call for agenda items at the time.
Have you ever had an agenda item not been added to an agenda?
I haven't been asked, I haven't had that authority to do that, it's just, it comes up. If it was part of our, that would be fair. But I can't see why this committee would, not vote for Robert Rules, but that's just one of my concerns.
I'm sorry, nowhere in here does it say that we won't follow Robert's Rules of
Okay,
Order, so
okay.
I don't, I'm just trying to understand.
That's one of my concerns, is Robert's Rules.
Okay,
That's-
I share that concern.
Okay, and then another concern is, us having subcommittee, officially elected subcommittee, so it says who we are, who our leaders are, It's like, military recognition, that's the, what's the name of that committee? The speakers committee, I don't know what the name of it is.
Speaker series?
Oh, the
Six
speaker
years, we have
series.
a skirmish, and I would think that would be fair to have those leadership. Those are things I'd like to see in there, but I think that would take some reflection and discussion. So if we can't, come to those conclusions now, I'd like to postpone.
All right. Anybody else have any thoughts, any additions, deletions to the draft? Does anybody want to, any other thoughts on discussion?
I do kind of agree with Sharon that maybe we should postpone this, but also if we're going to have something that we're going to talk about during our meetings, we should have an advance copy before the meeting, or if it comes up during our meeting, like we're going to do now, postpone it and put it on the agenda for our next meeting.
Sure.
Because when we get something and it's handed to us, like Sharon was talking about this, it's handed to us and we have to read it and not really be able to consume it before we talk about it.
And FYI, that was not for this.
Oh, I know that, just
was
that was an
for-
example.
Here's something we could, I just felt like being creative.
Yes?
Yeah, should we have a deadline for submitting particular items for the agenda? Should we have a
Yes,
deadline for
Sure.
doing that is timely enough for the chair to encompass it into the agenda and for the secretary to set that up? Is that true?
Yep, that's fair. And if folks weren't aware, we do follow Robert's Rules of Order, so generally speaking, anybody on the committee can ask for an agenda item. All you need to do is just ask.
So we can officially say that we can officially say that we've adopted.
You can do that, sure. Yeah, but we've been practicing that all along, but that's fine. If this should be the place to put it, and to codify it.
Those are my concerns. If those are met, I'm happy.
Okay, good. Any other thoughts or discussion? I'll call for a vote then. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes.
Then can I make a motion that we adopt the current Robert Rules of Orders?
I'll defer that. I need to make a motion. Go ahead. Okay, under discussion, I mean, I'll say that we have not been avoiding Robert's Rules of Order, so I'm ambivalent to this. I have no problem with it.
So my motion is that this committee adopt the current edition of Robert Rules of Order for our parliamentary authority. That's it.
Okay, so that's,
I'll second that motion.
okay. So it's a friendly amendment to the original motion, second by Ken. So you seconded this.
That we
The
follow
more
Robert's
robust,
rules of
yeah,
order.
second edition or whatever it is.
No, the current
The
edition.
current edition, it's not, it can't be second, it's been
No, they
around
have it on the
forever.
website.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
How about I move that members be given an opportunity to submit proposed agenda items. Did anybody come up with the number of days? Did we say 5 days before each meeting?
Honestly, why don't we put these items in writing, and we can put that into the next draft. But if you want to give it a date, like I think we were going towards codifying these types of issues, we can do this one at a time, but not have it and put it into, so I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
And I think the thing that drives that, Sharon, is really working with Terry to post agendas. And I think it's generally by no later than Friday morning before a Tuesday meeting, is that?
Yeah, well, 48 hours, 2 business days,
All right.
so,
Yeah,
So
and you
probably
always-
Thursday.
That's why I wanted to see that, because what she's posted is I go out there and that's where I get my.
but I don't
agenda.
post it until I get it all
Right, but it's
approved.
available on there before it comes through.
No, it doesn't go, the agenda can't be posted until
I
I
think
mail it out.
I think it's the meeting minutes. If you
Meeting
look at
minutes.
it, go ahead.
I-
Go
I'm
ahead.
Well,
not, I'm not
minutes
gonna
is-
have to look at it. I send out an email to everybody on the committee and to Terry, including the agenda for the upcoming meeting.
Right,
Which includes items that anybody on this committee
Okay,
has
well,
sent me
I
for
usually go there and see
consideration.
it.
That may be, but it's in your email
Okay, well,
before
it's
it's up
nice to know
there.
that it is electronically available to the public and us, and not necessarily in an email. And you can look at backlinks, it's in order, it's like, it's really nice the way he's got it set up.
Yeah, absolutely. But
who's
the
he?
information is available to all of us.
Who's
before it's
he?
Secretary of
electronic.
State,
oh, but that's been like this for
I
years
know,
and years.
I've been looking
Okay,
at it.
since
I'm
before
just
him,
saying,
so I think-
brought it up at this meeting one time and no one knew what I was talking about.
Oh, I don't recall, but I think, I post all of the agendas there when I get them, so, but
When you get
at a
them, when
minimum, it
everybody
has
else
to be
Who listens
2
the-
days.
Who listens to the video, to the audio?
So,
Who's taking the
did
notes from
we,
the audio?
we have I'm trying to recall where we're at with this
So-
motion.
So we have a motion to adopt the Robert's rules.
We
Water.
passed that.
Okay.
Was there anything, you were talking about the number of days. I think in a practical matter is at least, the Thursday before that Tuesday meeting.
Yeah, I just need time to make sure I get it and get it posted, not only on there, but it has to be manually posted at the town clerk's office. So somebody goes over and,
So,
So
so
it's
it's basically a week before our meeting.
Yeah.
And anybody who wants to have an agenda item, just send, honestly, just send it out to the entire committee. We don't have to be exclusive here. So that's fine. What we've tried to do is have a very broad agenda that captures just about all of our activity. So we provide ourselves flexibility to have robust discussions, actually do work, and to get done within about 90 minutes. That's what we're trying to do.
So then we just post it out to everybody like just what we did before this meeting. Everybody sees it and you've got a deadline if you want to do it. And then it'll be added to the agenda, or will it be reviewed, or it'll be, reviewed or checked out, or the things that might not go on there? How do you do that?
Right, so my request is that, my friendly amendment is that anybody who wants to add a new agenda item, please provide electronic, support. If it's a robust discussion topic, if there's been some work that's gone into it, I think we're all better off seeing that in advance. I don't know if you post attachments to the secretary. So there is some primacy, so it's only our committee that would see that. I know you were concerned of draft information,
It's
and
just
and
the
that's
agenda.
fair. Yeah, so I can't imagine that we would not allow anybody to talk about an agenda topic, especially when they fall in these buckets of
Okay,
Doors
and on
programs.
your proposal right now for your committee procedures, you said you wanted to elect the vice chair, president, secretary. We've never elected a secretary.
Right.
Can we elect our subcommittee, can we identify our subcommittees and elect the co-chair? and
So
the
before we
chairman?
do that, let's wrap up this. We said 1 week before
Okay.
the meeting. Is that okay?
Yeah.
There was a friendly amendment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay. So in regard to the officers, let's let that be a topic of discussion as far as how that happens. I mean, quid pro quo, there should be like, we should announce it, at one meeting, and then give people a chance to think about it, and the following meeting, then we actually have a vote. I
And
mean,
can we name our committees, at least have a vote to name our committees?
sure, and we have to be careful of, not creating subdivisions of this committee without actually reflecting that on the Secretary of State's website as an actual subdivision. But yes, I think it's more of just an honorary title bestowed to the workforces that are actually gonna do whatever. So yes, we can absolutely do that.
So I'll make a motion.
Okay. Carol seconds it, so the motion is to formally have our officers listed and voted on, and then to, I don't know if
No,
they
this is
acknowledge.
about naming the committees,
Okay.
which we can do here today. We don't need to wait. We can do the other, can't we do our committees now?
I mean, we could do the rules as well, but I think let's do that next time.
All right,
Okay.
that's fine. All right, then, I'm good.
So
I just
there
want to make
was
sure
a
we get
motion
that.
and a second. What was the motion?
That we name our committees formally, and that we elect officers or chairman to those committees.
Yeah.
Leadership.
All right, and that motion has been withdrawn pending discussion next week?
That should be embodied into our procedures. So I think what I'm hopeful is that people will have some thought about this. They'll send out, hey, I want to see this. This is what I've seen on this committee or that board, and we can put it into this draft, and we'll add that to the agenda for our next meeting.
We're talking about a name, like this is the Military
I
History
understand.
Recognition
I agree.
Committee.
I
So
agree.
that's what you're talking about, okay? Because it's called 13 different things, so I'm just want to get a name,
Okay.
okay? And then whoever we want to, I'd like to keep it the same format as far as the leadership, but that's up to the group.
Okay. So I'm sorry, Katie, you clear on that motion?
I'm as clear as I'm gonna be. I'm as clear as
All right.
this volunteer who is not a
Okay.
secretary is gonna be.
Fair enough. So, all those in favor of this motion?
Again, aye.
I'd like to make a motion
Yes,
that we actually do some work
okay.
towards putting together events and doing something rather than continuing to talk about what procedure and who, when things should be, done, and can we just actually do something? I make a motion to do some work.
Oh, I
towards
second that
50.
motion right there.
Yeah, second.
Can we just do that?
Okay, all right.
And, I appreciate this, but,
It's only been a half hour, Bill, come on now.
Okay.
we're only here for 90 minutes and we spent a third of our time.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm not saying it's not important, I'm just saying, let's do some balancing.
I'd like to comment on that, even though you're going to vote. and
Oh, we need a
everybody's gonna say
second for-
fine.
you got a second?
Second.
I got a second.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. In fact, he thought it was important enough to write it, a full
I'm not saying
page
it's-
thing.
I'm not saying it's not
And
important.
because we don't have these rules
But
in
what-
place, there's a lot of misconception and there's a lot of misunderstanding. So if you don't think that's important,
I did not say
Okay,
that.
and
What
we
I
do
am
need-
saying
we
is
need to
that
spend
we have
that
spent
time, Mr.
literally
Brown. We need to
hours
spend
and
the
hours
time.
talking about
We need to
who can
spend
vote,
the
who
time.
cannot vote,
We
and
need
this
to
and the
spend
other,
the
blah,
time.
blah, blah. I'm getting freaking tired of
All
it.
right,
Okay.
is,
But thank you, I am done.
Thank you, Bill.
I withdraw my motion.
Okay,
No, I'm going
thank you, Bill.
We gotta vote.
Oh, sure.
I have nothing to report on the military. There's nothing to report on that.
Okay.
and the Liberty, the
Happy
24th is the Liberty Tree.
Okay.
The 24th of what month?
We don't-
Okay, so, moving on, so we're gonna, take a pass on discussion, actually, we don't have to take a pass. We can we can have the discussion regarding the vice chair. I think it does make sense to have a vice chair.
This year.
And, this has now been wrapped into the procedures, discussion that we'll have at our next meeting. Which coincidentally, I don't think I'll be able to attend. I have a Habitat for Humanity monthly meeting. We didn't have our meeting last month, so this would be a meeting that I can't make. Or we'd have to adjust the time.
Which one, Ken?
2 weeks from now.
All right, so I think any of these important discussions need to wait until you're,
Oh, we have a
You're
quorum.
present.
Or, yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
can get that, maybe the last agenda item is the next meeting. We can talk about.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so discussion, events, planning of the Liberty Tree. Sharon was spearheading that. I think I just heard her say something about the 24th. I don't know if that's a
October.
deadline of October. So we'll wait to hear back from Sharon at the next meeting as far as, again, what she needs for support for that program. I think it's a light lift. It's a grant program through the Secretary of State's office, and a lot of folks at Town Hall are interested and have tentative approval, but I still think there's some work to be done
And
there.
where would that be?
It's at Town Hall. The suggestion is that the planting of the Liberty Tree would be at Town Hall.
Uh-huh.
So, again, there may be more discussion on that, but that has been conceived by Sharon in her conversations with the assistant town manager. And it may be something that could happen. I think every city and town has been made that same offer to have a Liberty Tree from the Secretary of State, so it should be something to participate in. Speaker series is the second one, unless anybody else has anything else on Liberty Tree. So speaker series,
So, and partly I'm going to speak for Sharon too,
yeah.
which is dangerous. You don't have to have that, but basically, I've been able to organize with the lady, with the scheduler at South Kingstown High School, to set up a series of dates for January through June, so that we can have speakers for the first 6 months of this celebration. Ryan Muir, who is the supervisor for that, the theater, is fine with that, has no problems with that, and Ryan and I worked well the last time. Now to speak with Sharon, when I first came in, I mentioned that Sharon and I had a short conversation out in the parking lot. She has contacted the theater group, Contemporary Theater Group. They have not made up a schedule yet for 2026, which means they can't commit to any one day or any one time for June, July, and August for speakers or presentations or whatever we might do. The third item is Sharon and I will sit down and go over the people who we would like to approach to be speakers. And the situation there is some of them will be familiar faces from the 300th and some will not be, because they have, whatever they spoke about really had little or no thing bringing up to 1776. For example, you have Christian McBurney, who certainly could talk again, whether it be about plantations. Someone, not necessarily the same lady who spoke about Native Americans at the time of the Revolution, in terms of trying to do that. And I see that we also, I hope, I see Jerry is here, and he taped magnificently the whole series of speakers from the 300th. And I assume he's ready, willing, maybe able to do that once again, both at South Kingstown High School and again at the Contemporary Theater whenever that takes place. So in other words, we've got a foundation, and Sharon is reaching out to the Contemporary Theater. Eventually, the two of us will, even before, if we can't get a commitment to the Contemporary Theater, at least agree on 9 speakers or presentations. An example of this is I ran into a lady who said she had been to a presentation of fashion in the late 18th century. In other words, at the time of the Revolutionary War, what men wore, what women wore, not necessarily soldiers' uniforms, but just simply, and now that's more of a presentation, but I've got the contact for that, so I would approach her and see, or Karen and I would approach her and see what we could, if we could arrange a time and place for that. Some of the 300th anniversary people did want money, did want some kind of grant to do a speech. So I think we have to at some point iron that out, because I don't know whether this committee is willing to necessarily pay them a stipend for a speech. Some were free. Some Ryan Wallen, for example, on the Narragansett Railroad, he just did that because he likes to talk about that. So that's why he did.
Yeah, I think, well, thank you for that update. That's amazing. I think to the extent we can partner with Contemporary Theater, I think that's a great local meeting place. I think I'd ask that you contemplate a backup plan with the hopes that the Contemporary Theater will work out.
Well, one thing, during the 300th, the Tavern Hall restoration people allowed us to give one presentation. I think it was the July presentation. And we had 3 speakers, which was semi-suicidal, but nonetheless we did it. I've made the mistake of telling Gil and Delia that I'll be around much more, and Gil said, then you must be on the board. And I said, really? And he said, yeah. So
Congratulations.
May I say something?
But
The problem with Tavern Hall is there's no AC.
there's no AC.
We had one speaker already
It's-
say he just can't do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a problem, but that we had to have them outside, I think.
So, and there's.
And inside there's no
The
AC.
other item with that is there was costs associated with that beyond.
Yes.
The high school didn't cost us anything.
No,
The Tavern
this
Hall
would-
was
was-
tent, tables, chairs, so there was more involved with that in terms
Yes.
of the financial. But Laurel, has
Happy to have it
Kingston.
in Kingston, especially
Library.
if it's the summer, because the parking won't be as dire.
Oh, well, then that's.
So it
then
might
No,
be,
another
and
op-
that's a freebie.
Yeah.
Another option might be the Episcopal Church at the corner of Kingston and Main Street.
Oh,
The
all right.
the contact person there is Mitch Lindeman, Lindeman,
Okay.
and his phone number is 401-783-2911. And my neighbor is an associate pastor there, so
Oh, okay. Well, then
Mention your name? or the
he
name of the-
certainly can mention my name.
doors will fly open.
I was going to say, how many Hail Marys and.
Well, actually, you might not want to mention my name because sometimes when I go in that church,
Doors may
I feel
slam
this
shut.
oppressive heat, suddenly, like lightning.
But so that was a tangible.
Where is it again? What
alternative.
street is that?
So it's the corner of Kenyon and Main, and they have a big event room. So they have the main chapel, and beside of it is a good-sized event room. And I think they might have window ACs. I don't know if they have central there.
Well, we might even drop the Contemporary Theater. If the Contemporary Theater can't or won't do it, then we can certainly line her up and then line up the church as a second, and maybe Tavern Hall if it got.
And the church is on Main Street in South Kingston, so.
Well, Sharon's idea, which I think is a good one, especially during the summer months, is that's when we have the influx of people coming into Wakefield, especially for ice cream or for the river
Yep.
fire, or just simply to wander the streets. And so this would be something to engage them. Contemporary Theater likes it, according to Sharon, because that can promote people to come in to listen to that, and therefore get them to watch whatever
But that's their programs,
Plays.
mainly in the summer, a lot of them.
Right, there are a
They have
lot.
Kingston Free Library,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
That would, even if we do some combination of contemporary theater, which is fantastic for all those reasons, but the library has got such a rich place in history, especially for
yes.
that period.
Yeah.
Built in 1776,
Well, see,
and we've
that-
been
that-
doing exhibits with some information,
That's
so it's
golden.
really a way
Yeah,
to.
that's
Yeah, and that
tie
second
in
floor
the
room is
actual-
huge, so
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
fit a lot of
It's
people.
So
I think it's.
maybe we'll just look for contemporary theater for 2 dates. This may, and we'll look certainly to the Kingston Library. The church is a possibility
Yeah.
background.
You could have it in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Also, for the speaker series, I talked to Scott, can't remember his last name, at Shaw's, and he said if you send him an email requesting what you want, I'll see if I can dig up his email on my Gmail, and then send him an email of what you would like for him to provide.
Right.
He said they could probably get it
That's great.
approved
Yeah.
for food for your
That
speaker
would be
series.
fine.
What do you say when he needs it by?
He didn't say, but we're
Well,
well enough in
it's
advance
really
where if you
next
do
year.
it sooner rather than
Yeah.
later.
I mean, this
But
year.
sooner rather than later get there, because I remember talking to him a couple of times myself, and we always had a decent relationship there.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So if we send him an email and say what we would like, and it's for our 205th community speaker series, it would be similar to the 300th. And he says that he shouldn't have a problem getting that approved because he
And-
has to go to his corporate folks.
And although Ryan doesn't have anything to do with the foyer of the theater, he has something he has to do with. He said setting up those tables that we used to have where they have coffee and cookies is fine again with the school, with the principal. His first name is Chip. That's the only reason. Anytime when I
Yeah.
say hi, Chip, and then I start to do something, he said, "Yeah, sure."
I did want to touch bases on the compensation, so we are able to do that. I don't know that we've set up a formal policy or a procedure for vendors, for speakers. We just received one, it's a proposal right now, they want a deposit for the carriages for the skirmish. So do we want to talk about how that happens and what the constraints are? Maybe this, I don't want to constrain ourselves to the committee, but maybe we should just do it. I think we've got enough time to say anything, financial implications, we just share with the committee and we should take action on it.
So in that vein, Ken, am I mistaken that you didn't have, you do or you do not have budgets already set? Just knowing what the funding, the present funding is, or the present budget that you have right now for the various events?
So we do have a budget, and it's broken out by event, and the event did have a pro forma series of theoretical expenses. So that does exist, and I'm trying to
So
pull it
the
up
committee
now.
would then approve expenditures, or are the committee chairs going to be looking at their budgets, understanding what's there and what's not there? Because once $30,000 is gone, it's gone.
It's gone, right.
And somehow there needs to be a mechanism
Terry,
for,
I would suggest that the committee approve it, because some, as I said before, some speakers just did it for free as their contribution to the 300, but others didn't. So I think I should bring up, or Sharon, bring up independently.
yeah,
plug in?
yeah, yeah,
How much was the stipend, like normally,
Pretty, wasn't it?
What's that?
About 300.
stipend?
About 250. I think it was even less than 3.
So 250, 300.
But let's say 250 times 9, and hopefully we may get a few people who would go with less, say, this is my contribution, is 250.
So around 2,500.
2,500, yeah. The school is free, the library is free, I assume the church is free,
So,
and Jerry is free, so.
it's priceless. What are you talking about? So this is the information I presented to the council. That was the backup that they asked for when we gave us our revised budget. So you have $2,700 for honorariums. You've got a little bit of money here for the venue, $500 if you need it. Some printing expenses, yeah, $3,500 is what your budget is. This
Oh,
is
okay.
us just, we had, some wise person suggested I get ahead of the curve and, produce a budget and
Okay.
share with the council, and I did
Alright.
that. So this is what's been blessed by the council, and the committee has had this, we haven't looked at it in a while. So, I'd suggest if the committee groups are within their boundaries, if you're operating within the boundaries of the performance, that you really work through, say Terry and myself for
Yeah.
now, to make sure all the paperwork's in, W-9s, they gotta have insurance when appropriate, contracts, it depends on what it is, right? And we'll get that guidance from
Yeah, I can-
finance or wherever.
I think we had talked earlier about making sure the committee chair is aware of any contracts or any obligations. So before you make an obligation, you have to make sure Ken knows that, hey, we want to do this.
Right.
Can we make an obligation to spend money for speaker A, B, C, whoever?
You have to request, do you wish a stipend or not? The person can give you a stipend, then bring it to the board, and the board then agrees that that would be,
Yeah.
whether that's tantamount to a contract or not from, issued by the secretary, or whether, we would go about.
I'm gonna suggest you have a little more latitude. You are hemmed in with $3,500, $2,700 is for honorariums. So I think you're free and clear to go solicit those honorarium requests and let us know, hopefully it's less than $2,700. That should be easy to do, and, honestly, we can report out on this at our meetings. So if there's something that's high, hey, I'm traveling, I'm gonna be gone for a couple months, can we get this done? Sure, if it's within your guidelines, your boundaries, that should be something you can do with Terry and I, and she would be, through the finance department. If you're outside of the boundaries, then, the committee should weigh in on it.
So is this a good point in time does it make sense to make a motion to authorize that amount based on the budget, with the caveat that what you were just saying, that, any commitments, expenditures are approved by the chairperson and reported to the committee, or something like that?
So
Is that something that appropriate to do?
I think we had a motion on this topic a few weeks ago, and we probably need a motion tracker at this point, but I think that motion was that any expenditures were to come before the committee unless there was a time sensitivity, and then it would just be coordinated with Ken. So are you suggesting that we would do kind of motions in the interim and say, John's speaker series, they've got this $2,700 budget, the motion is to spend that without coming back to us?
Yeah, that's a good question. To spend it, well.
I don't mind coming to the board with each
Yeah,
individual
okay. Or
and,
just- yeah.
and presenting what they wish. Because it could be less than 250, as I mentioned, when you asked for a ballpark,
Okay,
250,
all right. I
and
don't
then
wanna confuse
it
the
might be
issue.
higher. But I have no problem coming back and saying so-and-so is going to speak at this particular time. He or she or they want X number of dollars, or they don't want anything, they're just going to do it as gratis, so.
Okay, so I guess maybe my point is that maybe, we're far enough away, it's not an issue today, but, if there comes a point in time where, hey, this person wants to know, and they're gonna lock in their schedule in 3 weeks, and whatever it's, I guess we meet every couple of weeks, so maybe it's not a big deal,
So
but
to that point, I
just wanna make sure that you're given enough latitude to get things done without coming into a committee and talking about it forever when we've already discussed.
Well, I'm
the
following
budget.
what you're saying, which is.
Discussed the budget, we already know what the you know, the rails are.
saying if
it
you
just-
can go ahead and make a commitment.
just do it?
Just to lock that person in place, and not necessarily, I follow what you're saying, so
Yeah.
therefore, that's fine to me, and then but I would still make it public to the committee, anything that I did, you know, that in terms
Well,
of any commitment.
at least, you know, in discussion with the committee chairperson, hey, I got somebody with $250, you know, do you think we can make a, you know, at least a commitment that, hey, we want you to speak,
Yeah,
you know, I don't know,
it's fine.
Yeah, maybe it's like the only thing that needs to come before the committee are variances from
Yeah,
the
that's-
already approved budget.
Yeah, that's, I don't know.
So this is
Something to think
under,
about, I don't know, just,
this is under John and Karen's update for this one event, very important event. So if we could, let's go through the other events, and then under budget, let's take a motion. We'll take a
yeah, I
motion.
just looking to move things along.
Yeah, I'm with you.
As my earlier motion, you know, let's get stuff done,
Okay.
get her done, and move this forward.
Okay.
Move this puppy down the field.
All right, so that sounds like wonderful progress again for the speaker series. The Chloe, I'm not sure how much longer you have.
I'm here till 6:30.
Okay, good. So I think we had talked about helping Chloe out with specifics. So the more confidence you have in your speakers, Sharon has shared in other meetings. This is what North Kingstown's doing, what Charlestown's doing, whatever. A lot of that is also like current events. They're not necessarily 250th, but I think the idea, I'll say it again, is that we're hopeful to get just outside of the summertime. Everybody's shaking off cobwebs and just kind of hit them hard. You know, about 3 months until the holidays, and then we're jumping into our celebrations. So. If you can continuously share your speaker series, their bios, what their talking points are, without giving away too much with Chloe, that would be helpful for her to populate the social media.
What I did with each one is, if a speaker is coming up for the month, to put out a press release usually to the Independent and the Gansett Times, to say essentially, so-and-so is going to be speaking on next day, and this is why this person's speaking, and what they're gonna speak about, and when and where it will be.
Okay, that's great, but one of the things that we would like to have in advance is really the full schedule, because
Oh,
if we
yeah, we
don't
can get
have
that.
that, remember that flyer that had the whole
Oh, yeah.
list? And we would really need that if you want these to be successful. I mean, I'm thinking the fall.
Okay.
You know, like October, because we want time for people to be able to go on and see, oh, look.
Halloween, October
Okay,
31.
so
That's
that, yeah, because your January speaker will
going
be
to
the first one.
Yeah, in 2 months ahead.
And we want to be able to put as much as possible on the website as soon as possible. So the dates are important, and obviously the names.
And-
Then the press releases, they are closer to the date of the
Of the actual
event.
speaker,
And
yeah.
sometimes they put them in, and sometimes they don't. I
Yeah,
know they
well-
were very good.
Well, because we had that guy who
Someone-
then left.
yeah.
Right, it was very pleasant. He came to all of the 300 events.
So hopefully we can get somebody like that.
Well, there is a lady now who is, seems to seem to be the single reporter for them right now, so.
Well, now that we have the dates, we can start firming up the people.
Yeah, right, we have
Okay.
9
And
dates for South
about the
Kingston.
library.
Okay.
Library.
Yeah, as soon as you know, and we'll start to populate.
There is too wishy-washy on what they're able to do. Getting the dates through the library might be beneficial, at least for
Oh,
the
sure.
6
Yeah,
months
sure.
of the beginning, because then you can firmly say, we have this available, you know.
The
and
first
they
6 months, I think, is the school.
As
Yes?
at the
Yes.
schools. Oh.
Yeah, they have the school.
That's officially,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. We have that emailed, and the president, the principal, and and Ryan are both,
As a couple, they had to switch from Thursday, they had activities, because
yes.
we were trying to do Thursdays.
It could never be
So they
quite
were
as
switched.
regular as it
Thursdays
was
is
with
the
the
day that
300.
you're shooting for most of the.
Ideally,
We
we
needed
got-
3 for the summer. We were gonna use it there.
We got about 4 or 5 Thursdays,
Okay.
and
Just-
then the rest would
I'll
be.
make sure the room stays available on Thursday.
Right, it would be Thursday night.
But on the other hand, if the flexibility of Contemporary Theater, they may say, we can only do these on
Only
Mondays.
with suggestion, don't wait for them.
Don't wait for them.
If you have an option and you're trying to get, and you have this deadline, to have it be more successful is time. I think location is important, but if it's location versus time, letting people know where it's gonna be, I think that time trumps.
Yeah, I think so.
At this
yeah.
point.
Would you be open to 3, June, July, and August? Just-
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, so it'd be uniform
Was it
over the
the
summer.
second or third Thursdays you wanted? Do you want them?
Third Thursday,
Yeah, third Thursdays.
seem to alliterate
Third
third
Thursday.
Thursdays.
I think, that'd be wonderful. I mean, again, the council, the town manager both made points of celebrating the Kingsford Free Library. So,
Oh, well,
I
then
think
we're,
that's
then
nice.
maybe that could certainly be. We could even, if suddenly, we could even maybe withdraw from one of those South Kingston High School things too. If we want to put more of an emphasis on the library, we could just simply say thanks for the effort, but for one of the high school ones, and then, maybe the June, July, August, and September could be in the library, especially if they want. I'm sorry I ate up so much time.
That's okay.
Should have it for the website. For later.
Okay, if it's okay, can we move on for the speaker series? And again, thank you, John and Karen. Second skirmish, I can give you folks an update as to our status. So we have made additional contact with, let's see, Ladies of the Green are in. They're the folks that dress up in period dress. They're very articulate, well presented. They are seen to be the narrators that are riding the carriages, the horse-drawn carriages, to talk about colonial life. We are to give them talking points about the town of South Kingston in particular. So they're excited about the event. They're in all these militias, all these colonial reenactor groups. This is their busy season, and now they're starting to get it. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a year and a half long of just one after the other. So I think we were right to get out of the gate first, to get their attention, to be a little awkwardly, in February, so we're not competing with everybody else. See how that works out. Big Bear Trading Company is in. They do colonial crafts and arts, and I think they do a little bit of retail, so we're gonna have to talk about that. Let's see, there's a couple of light infantry groups that are in. I've reached out to Charles Roberts, the gentleman from the Rhode Island Slave Medallion Organization. He was this gentleman right here. He was there at the State House when they unveiled that Gravesman, whatever it was.
The first regiment painting.
Yes, and he is trying to get them involved with the skirmish as a representation of the BIPOC population in Rhode Island and in South Kingston in particular. I know Sharon felt a little bit guarded in terms of releasing family names, but fortunate to Bill's son, Andy. Andy has done a ton of research 10 plus years ago on war veterans throughout Rhode Island. You've shared resources, Daughters of the American Revolution, so we have that information that I've been looking for as far as validating local families in South Kingstown that fought in the Revolutionary War. So I don't think that'll be an impediment anymore with Sharon with respect to her research that she's doing with a broader group of people throughout the state.
So just briefly touch on my son Andy's Eagle project was to go through the major cemeteries and literally physically document what grave sites were in the graveyards, so Riverside, Fernwood, St. Francis, etc. and write down, get this person. And we got a list, initial list from, was it Historic Cemeteries? I think they have an online resource, and in that says, what graves and what war. And so we took that as a base and just double check and add as needed. And so that was the basis of research.
Did you find a lot that were not on
Yes,
the
right.
record? I mean, that's interesting.
Well, it's not surprising that there were obviously new graves since the last
Oh,
time
right,
that they
right, right.
graved,
Okay, I
so
see.
Vietnam vets, etc. What I did find kind of interesting, I did go to like some of the other smaller graveyards just to try and test run it, and I couldn't find some of the grave markers that said that they were there. So and it was a relatively small graveyard, so it's kind of interesting. I don't know. So anyway, what that means, I don't know, but there's
Well,
other resources.
Well, I think it's interesting because this is not a new issue, right? That there are forgotten soldiers, veterans, and this was, the first war of our country. There were other wars before then, before the country formed. So, and I'm sorry to cut to the quick here, but like we need for the skirmish, we need to know a handful of South Kingstown veterans that fought in that Revolutionary War, so that we can empower these these encampment folks, these actors, to be relevant for the skirmish. So I think we're in solid footing for that specific item. The thing that Sharon is getting involved with, it transcends South Kingstown. It's a national movement. So that might take a long time. I mean, it's been 249 and a half years, ish, 20, whatever. It's been a while.
time,
It's been a
yeah.
long time.
Does it sound like the names that Sharon's gonna be focusing on are folks that may not have made Andy's list? Right? Because
Yeah,
they wouldn't
it's
have
quite
been
possible, yes.
recognized in any way?
It's quite possible they didn't make it to the round historic cemetery list.
Yeah.
Russ, you correct me if I'm wrong, but because they were slaves, they may not have marked graves, right? Or freed people that may not have marked graves. So, I mean, that's just sad.
And because that issue may not be resolved for another decade or whatever, like the names still resonate, the families are still here. I don't know if they were, actually some of the information I read from North American Revolution did indicate if they were a Black or Indigenous population. So we've got a lot of, I hate to marginalize this, but we've got a lot of good information to work with that I think is relevant, and it piques the curiosity of just the average, citizen in South Kingstown. And I think this will be a nice draw for other communities as well. So for the skirmish, in addition to rounding off all the militias, we're getting these other supplemental groups. We did get a proposal, I think it's around $2,800 for 2 horse-drawn carriages for that event, for a solid 2 to maybe 3 hours. So we're gonna have to put this on the next committee agenda to endorse. I won't do it, spring it on you guys. We just got that in today. So we're starting to see requests for deposit. They want a deposit. And I would think that as we get, the summer winding down, these other militias will say, yeah, we're in too. Most of them like to get paid. Some of them are like, hey, we wanna join in. So I don't know. I've got a budget, and we estimated. So again, that'll be on me to give an update for the next meeting.
So does that involve insurance and things, the horse-drawn carriages?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Right.
through the
So
town?
they're fully insured.
No, they have to
They have.
provide us with their insurance.
So, so for that, important, but it's a complementary piece. We've got Riverside Cemetery has agreed. They love the idea. They want to have people, honestly, know about the cemetery and the war veterans in there. So this complement the horse-drawn carriage and the ladies of green. That's great. Now I got to get all these really rambunctious, colonial militia folks that they like some other militias, they don't like other militias. I'm like, man, that's way way too
Ay, ay,
complicated.
ay.
It's like,
Oh.
in real life, it's hard enough just
Drama.
to know, you know, the drama and how to navigate it out. Now, like, you guys are pretending like this is 250 years ago, I don't know.
So some of them don't like other ones in present life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
They're like, oh, they're unsafe with a cannon.
Yeah.
But they're shooting blanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Ken,
It's
you
quite a
mentioned that
complicated
you were,
process.
Yeah. Do you know why
If
they
you look
have
at my
you know
Facebook.
why they have river
I know.
rock walls around some of those cemeteries? People are dying to get in.
There it comes the dad jokes.
you
Here we go.
mentioned that you
I'd like to
had,
make a motion to remove all dad jokes.
you mentioned that you had contacted Charles Roberts.
I reached out to him, yeah, through.
Oh, you
email.
haven't connected
I haven't talked
yet?
to him.
Got it, okay.
Does anybody know him? No?
I think I may have met him at Newport.
Yeah.
He puts some medallions and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him. Very nice gentleman.
I'll follow up with you on that. I think that he'd be a wonderful addition to the skirmish.
Interesting.
And actually, as I've got this up, so let me pull up the budget, the Saugatuck encampment. Again, I'm gonna go down to the bottom. This is a big ticket item, $13,700. So I had police detail, fire, EMS, hayride. I had a 2,000 that came out at 2,800. Character actors, that's John McNiff. Sorry. So we had Tuxedo Rangers, Kingston Reds, Kentish Guards. I grabbed a bunch of folks that had previously been hired through, I think, the parade. So again, I've got working numbers and I'm hemmed in with this budget. So the next meeting, I'll present some tractions. And now that the portion carriage rides are coming in high, I'll have to figure out what to trim down to fit within my budget. All right. Keeping momentum. 4th of July enhancement.
I will be developing a budget for the 4th of July when I do my town operating budget. And I know that the town council, at least some members of the town council, are tuned into the fact that it's a big year. And we'll be looking at enhancing the fireworks, potentially a second band to extend the day a little bit. We used to do like an opening band and then the main concert. So those are items that are remain to be seen until the budget is passed. But that's what I envision. I don't think we're going to get reenactors unless we, because it's 4th of July and they'll all be in Bristol. Just kind of how it is.
Those
But
bastards.
but I think we did talk a little bit about the whole Gatsby Day kind of vibe with potential costumes and encouraging the community to kind of dress in period costume and maybe doing a contest of sorts, but we haven't fleshed that out at all, whether or not that takes hold.
Maybe some kid activities that.
Yeah, we'll have children's activities. Probably not the, what were some of the activities that
What,
you?
the sword fight?
Yeah, the
Sword
sword
fight.
fight.
That was
yeah.
good, or the,
Or
the grease pole.
The grease pole,
They have
yeah.
to be at the ocean, that's for the
Yeah,
summer.
yeah.
Well, you
But-
got the hoop thing with the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hoop roll.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
control.
Yeah, I went to.
Sure, you can lead that.
Huh?
You lead that one.
Yeah.
I went to, anybody's a Facebook friend of mine. Yeah, I went to Old Sturbridge Village this weekend. It's the largest skirmish, I guess, in New England. I thought I heard. Anyway, cool thing was they had a little kid activity where you had to go around and get the secret message, because they're all Continental
yeah.
Spies. And you go around and there's little shapes and you have to flip it over and you write the word down and it spelled out a certain message.
Yeah.
Ovaltine.
That's neat. That's cool.
Ovaltine.
Yeah. No, you get zero.
But my staff will be
It's fine.
brainstorming some ways to
It's fun.
enhance
Fun.
the day.
Well, you had me at costume, so,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
and then it's a white fluffy shirt and
Yeah.
a tricorn hat.
Jerry Seinfeld, sure.
Yep.
Okay, more to come on the 4th of July enhancement. The beach party, again, I'm just thinking of themes here, and what pops into my head is, again, going to 1976 bicentennial to 2026 semi-sesquicentennial. I'm thinking there's a disco theme in there somewhere, you know, and again, so we've got a great stage. It's good to see a lot of turnout at the beach concert series. So I think the venue speaks for itself. We're really maybe thinking about getting dialed in. That's one thing we might want to try to do sooner rather than later, is try to talk to some of these bands that are have broad appeal, and try to cinch them up.
What's the
sooner.
date for that? That's not the 4th.
No, I have a kind of a suggested date that I don't think I've put out there, but in September.
What is it, like September 29th for like a full moon?
It's one of those later weekends in September. Let's see if I can on my calendar. I have just, that's a hold it.
Pull up your page here. This is our draft.
Like the 26th maybe? September 26th is a Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's a full moon that day.
That's tentative, but that gives us time to shut down, summer more or less, and then roll into, and it's still kind of summer.
Yeah.
so.
How was the attendance at this most recent concert at the beach?
Very good.
Did you need the overflow?
Almost. We didn't need the overflow lot because, well, we had less musicians. The Wakefield
Oh.
Concert Band takes up
That's
50
40
spaces.
cars right there, yeah.
So, but we do think we're gonna need it for the guest method concert on August 18th. And I encourage everybody to go if they are so inclined. They've been great. With the food trucks and the artisans, and the weather was great for both of them. Hopefully we have the same for the 18th.
Excellent. Moving on, military recognition history. The only event we had for this is the monument. I know Sharon and Carol aren't here. The last meeting, we received the news from the town manager that they're concerned about the conflict of timing with the new school. So I think we're going to have to work, well, we need something in this category. So I'm not sure what Sharon is thinking about. She's talked about continuing the work to validate the BIPOC Revolutionary War veterans from South Kingstown. And as we talked earlier, I know Bill, your son, has been involved in Explorers of American Revolution, have been involved. There's a ton of people that have been involved with this for decades. I don't know where that goes. I don't know if it can get wrapped up, let's just say, in 3 months, and then there's a list, and then we hold a special ceremony to honor those war veterans. I don't think we're in the envelope to say, let's validate who these people are that have evaded all of us for 249 years, and then to make a monument and cite it and do right by them. It feels like that's lagging. That has to happen at some point.
I'm sorry, just a recommendation. Next Memorial Day, I mean, maybe that could be the focus of the Memorial Day ceremony at the end of the parade.
Maybe.
So, I mean, I don't know what Sharon's
Right.
plan is, but I mean, if we're not gonna have a monument to go and dedicate, that would be a really, I think, a good place for that. Because, I mean, all those folks are no longer with us, and they fought in the Revolutionary War, and they were not recognized. So, I think,
I also, I don't know, I like that idea. I also like it because, maybe we do have a list and we're able to maybe publish it, like virtually or on a mock-up. And that also allows people to comment and say, hey, you're missing my family member or this or that. And maybe do a mock-up of whatever we're looking for. And when people see it and they hear it, maybe some donations will also flow in, hey, would you help support this? And so as we move
And they could do
forward,
something like read their names with a bell after each name.
something, yeah, there might be an opportunity. to
So
raise
there's
money.
an opportunity there.
So, being the taskmaster, I think this is all valid and important, but I'm also looking at Chloe and Terry saying, we've gotta, stick to what we wanted to do for marketing. We've gotta say things that we're confident in, so that we can achieve those. I'd rather deliver than overpromise and underdeliver. So, and this has me kind of flummoxed here. I don't know what to do about this. I know that we can't go month to month to month and not have any information. That's one of the other reasons why I reached out to Charles Roberts. I want to understand. I have to believe it's a statewide initiative to also, as Charles is doing, he's created a nonprofit, to do this. So I want to understand that in the context of the state, the nation, and then refocus back to South Kingstown. The Secretary of State's office just came out with their 2 grant programs. One of them is local, it's capped at $5,000. The other one is bigger, it's a statewide significance grant program at $10,000. So I don't know if this need is going to be effectuated at state level through 39 individual cities and towns, or maybe South Kingstown is going to be one of the first ones. I just don't know. And I want to just say it'd be great in, let's say, October, to publish a series of events that we know are going to happen. And I'm fearful that this one may not be ready. And if it's not, we have to say something. We need to do something. And I don't know what it is.
May I
Yeah.
just, I'll throw this out there. It's a very important subject matter, right? And we all recognize that. It's a really noble project, but the bottom line is it has to be done right, and these things take time. One of the things that maybe this committee, with Sharon as the chair of this particular subcommittee, is to present to the town council that during the 2026 year, they establish a committee specific to discovering the Revolutionary War soldiers that have yet to be recognized. And just like they did with the Saugatucket Park Monument, right? There was a committee established. It took a long time to make sure all that information was correct, and it was established by the town council. And if that's the piece of it that can happen in 2026, then it's the spin-off from 2026 is now we have this committee that's gonna work to, at some point in the future, have a formal monument. I'm not sure that that's something that will be entertained by this committee or by the subcommittee, but it would be something during 2026 that.
And I think, if I could add to that, in my sporadic conversations with Tiger Patrick, I know he and the veterans also want to figure out if there's a better way to enhance the veterans memorials that are out there in South Kingston. So I'm not sure where this goes. I don't know if Sharon's initial effort is just a standalone, that we're just going to do something that's over here, or does that get subsumed into a larger veterans initiative? I mean, I don't know. And I think one of the things I'm going to suggest that we talk about at our next meeting is what is the deliverable? And it's no disrespect to the eventual goal of the bigger thing, obviously, those veterans, but what is the deliverable for our committee? What and nobody, I think, is looking to jump in and be the chair of it. It's really just like, how can we help you, get focus on this and have a deliverable so we can, I hate to say it, but plug it into the calendar and get people excited about it. Make sure it's spaced apart between speaker series and other events so it has prominence. I mean, I like the Memorial Day, which is a whole. We're going to bring up another group in and say, hey, we got something we want to add to this very important day.
And I like Terry's suggestion also, because this committee, just by its nature, is gonna cease to exist, you know, a year and a half or less from now. Whereas if there's a special committee, ad hoc committee, just focused on that, they can continue.
As I think it took a couple of years to put that together, right?
Yeah, that was before my time, so I'm not sure how long, I just know it
But there
was
was-
an
there was, like,
ongoing effort.
Ads in the paper and notices that went on for several months. Though that was for, recent conflicts that we've had, I think. A lot of
Yes.
focus on that, whereas this is more of a, well, you gotta dig into the research, it's not. But anyway, I kinda like that idea, that way, also getting to Kenny's point is, what is the deliverable from this organization? And if we do that, it takes that and moves it off over here, off of this committee's plate.
Okay, so for the next meeting, we'll ask for input for agenda items. This one will be here again. I don't know if it's gonna be the monument as the subcategory, or if it's gonna be some other deliverable. So we'll take that up for discussion at the next meeting. Moving on, got about 10 minutes left. Budget, grants, donations, fundraising. I'll start off with grants. Did I send it out to the committee? I think I sent out the 2 grant applications there. They emulate legislative grants, so that it's not a heavy lift, but we do have to do some writing to ask for that funding. I think we have a little bit of time. I'd like to not take too much time, like I'd say within a month. I want to have grant applications prepared. We don't have the monument. That's not a thing that we can ask for a grant for, because a lot of it's reimbursable, so, or some of it's reimbursable. So we need to think about what we're gonna ask for support for. $5,000. I'm gonna philosophically hold a $10,000 grant aside as kind of like, if maybe the monument becomes more of a regional or statewide thing, maybe that's a better fit for that. Unless somebody else has any other ideas about how we could ask for funding for those specific grants. Laurel, you guys, is the library asking for any of that grant money, do you know?
No, not this time.
Okay.
What do you need from administratively from the town?
Yeah, it's a good question.
So I'm available, if the committee's gonna need to say, yes, we agree, right, to that, to apply for these.
Correct. I have to go back and look and see if it requires an action of the council also. I don't know. It is a matching grant, so it may actually require somebody outside of this committee to validate that there's a town dollar.
There's only one meeting this month, so the next council meeting isn't until the second Monday of September. So we can look at it. We
Okay.
look and see what the requirements are. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't.
Okay. Will do.
Just putting that on the radar.
Fundraising, all I'd say about fundraising is we had some coffee. A bunch of us got together. It was on a committee meeting. That being said, if we ever do it again, I think we're going to post this on the Secretary of State's website that we're going to get together to talk about coffee and other things. So we do have a follow-up task on fundraising. We have a list of folks that had donated from the 300th. We're going to work off of that. I don't have any other activity on the fundraising at this point in time.
Do you want something posted on the website for that also? If there's a way to promote it as, are you interested in supporting the effort? I don't know if it's worth it, but it's something that.
Yeah, You know,
Okay.
I feel like this dam is just rising with water, and somehow magically in another month or so, it's gonna spill over. There's our website, we've got all these dates out there, we've got our talking points, we've got our pro forma, we've got our budget, and that's when it's so much easier to take a
Yes.
request letter and say, hey, dear so-and-so, you handwrite their names, you put this, and you attach, or on the back sides, and here's a list of the events and locations and times. So we're getting really close. Unfortunately, the monument, I think, is gonna take a back seat, but there'll be something in its place on that same theme. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think administratively, we're gonna do kind of a letter writing campaign. We're gonna have individual committee members to their level of comfort, agree to take a certain number of folks, and little handwritten thank yous, and
Yep.
send out some emails, send out some letters, but making personal appeals, calling these folks, stopping by, I think will pay dividends.
And you didn't send, I didn't get those letters that you were referring to.
I think we
Grant
had a
application?
draft that
I
was
didn't see
circulated
that.
through email, and
I don't remember seeing that on my Gmail.
yeah, I'll find it.
And you wrote something about an elevator letter in this?
It's an elevator
Did you
speech.
send that? I didn't get that. People get it?
we had a draft, I don't know if we shared it widely.
Yeah, I thought it went out maybe 2 weeks ago.
It's, maybe I'd use your combined email address
Yeah,
instead of
somebody
yours.
got it.
No,
Yeah.
you're on
Got
it,
it.
Karen. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're on it. I'll forward it.
All right.
Okay, communication with legislators. I think this is an agenda item that was here from the last couple of months where, we had inadvertently talked directly to some legislators and asked them directly for a legislative grant. Now it's for the monument that can't get done in the time they wanted it. So I would say putting our best foot forward, and again, thinking it's gonna be the September, October timeframe. We've got our priorities, our events that we can host. I think that's the time that this committee will also petition Tansy, Fogarty, Sosnowski, Hagan McEntee, Wu, I forget her name, I think that's her name. So there's at least 5 senators and reps from the area. We'll ask them for support for their districts for legislative grants. And best case scenario is that we don't have to paint ourselves into a corner for a specific program, but they'll let us use it to support the overall program. If we need particulars, then we'll have to talk amongst ourselves and figure out how we want to spread the money. Outreach, I've been flat out. I have not had much of a chance to do anything of substance with other communities. I did want to, I still want to reach out to Charlestown, Richmond, North Kingstown. And if anybody on this committee would like to facilitate that or help, that would be wonderful. And it could just be calling them or sending them an email. Hey, I'm on the 250th, just checking with you guys, how you making out? Do we want to collaborate? Do you want to take Narragansett over and give free parking to Town Beach for South Kingstown in exchange for them drinking our water?
Those passages.
I'm telling you,
And using our sewage treatment plant.
that's true.
They do pay us for that.
All that kind of.
Marketing, I had, so 2 items, the graphics. I did send out the graphic. It is not perfect. It's not totally up to snuff, but I think it's at a point where we can talk about it. Let me bring it up again.
That I got.
I mean, I had some comments. I think a lot of people have comments, and we should figure out what to do with this. And I'm-
Just a gentle reminder, we're about 2 minutes to time.
Okay. So, most of you may not know, but I went through the same process with this artist for the 300th. He went through about 3, maybe 4 iterations before he came up with a graphic that we all liked. If I could walk you through this, this is the Kingston Free Library. This is the hat from the, how do you say it, the first Rhode Island Regiment. So it's interesting because it's got the anchor, it's got the state motto here, and it's got this very ornate plumage behind it. It's very striking. I think most people won't know what it is. Right?
I was curious. I thought it might be like a shellfish. Really.
Yeah. Nautilus met a shark. And
Actually, I thought it was like a shark in this, but you know what? I saw that hat this weekend.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, probably bring up a picture of it, but it's actually, they wore it when they were firing the cannon.
And I think leaning into this is what we're looking to do.
It's interesting.
It's weird, it's interesting, it's Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And I believe that there may have been South Kingstown residents that were part of this regiment. So this is why I reached out to Charles Roberts. I want him, at the suggestion of the Kingston Reds, to be part of the skirmish. And I think if that happens and people see that hat, that cover, and then they'll say, I get it.
And there it is.
It does look like that.
Little anchor on it.
Oh, wow.
And she was leading the cannon
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, the only thing I don't see in there is
Does it have the
USA.
plumage, though?
Not
Like-
that plumage, but
Right on the nose.
there it is.
So let's critique this. Mark said USA. I absolutely agree. So the 300th, we prominently talked about South Kingstown. I think the artist here kind of followed suit, and he just kind of put South Kingstown out there. But we're celebrating the United States, USA. And I think this artist is very literal. So is it USA? Is it United States of America? Is it?
Well, it's the American
America?
Revolution. So,
Oh, it's American independence.
250th,
It's American independence. So,
or just America 250th.
or just Merca.
I mean, let's think about it. So, I mean,
Make the building smaller, leave some room for another title.
yep. But just on the South Kingstown thing, I think, does it feel like South Kingstown? Yeah, we know where we're at, so maybe that's a smaller subordinate, minor banner on the bottom, but it should be United States of America or America or something to that. If that's what we're really saying.
My comments were, there was too many 250th or 250.
Yeah.
One in the pizza slice and
Yeah.
one in the banner below.
Right, plus the
there.
years.
Right there.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
South Kingstown was just too
How about,
big.
So is that where you could put USA?
well, how about we do
The
this?
250
I
and some
think
triangles?
USA,
Could go in
something
the
goes
triangle.
here. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, how about this, Ken? How about a banner at the top that says American and a banner at the bottom that says Independence, and we reduce the size of South Kingston in the middle? So American Independence, and you get the numbers in there, and then South Kingston, the size of that gets to be more subordinate.
okay.
I think when it comes down to putting together, these are all good suggestions, and anything we can give for guidance is great. But eventually, there's going to be some creative license.
So I'm hearing America. So is it America versus United States of America versus USA? Do we
I
have
personally think it's either or, but it's depending on where it is and what fits.
Give him that license.
Give them some license on that.
But he should
the
swap.
United States of America or
Or,
USA.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think the 1776 thing is the Declaration of Independence, and then the Revolutionary War was actually later than that, wasn't it?
Yeah. That being said, we're still running the 250th. So I think Bill's point is well taken. That there's the 250th pizza slice, flanked by the actual math. We get it, 1776 to next year. And then at the bottom around the hat, it's 250. So he said it 3 times.
Yeah.
He only needs to say it once.
Yeah.
So we got to give him some direction on that. But as far as the imagery, I mean, I like the hat because most people don't. I never knew it existed until we went to the State House
Yeah.
earlier this year, and it's great that you saw that. Of course, I stalk you on Facebook, so yeah, I knew you guys.
Yeah, and I like the library, that's a good
Well,
thing
you
there.
can do a little interpretation of the logo too at some point as part of the whatever, so people understand. Because some people aren't gonna recognize the building
Mhm.
as the Kingston
Yep.
Yeah.
Library. So
Sure.
to do little call outs and maybe have some kind of, marketing feature that says, our logo for the semi-quincentennial, and here's what it means, and here's the significance of it, or something, I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the. It's just my ADHD. The building is a little off to the side. I like things to be.
Oh, really?
You want to
Symmetrical.
But then I can get around that. That's okay.
We
But
just
it's a
had
what?
one done as well, and it's the building, and it's a dead-on view. It stays more true to the building's colors,
Yeah.
and I think it just says 250. I could send the group what we have
Sure.
been
Yeah,
using.
yeah. That's fine.
Just to give you.
I think the building is interesting in that view. Being the engineer, I like right angles
Yeah.
too. But I think it's kind of an interesting little perspective. It's like you're standing on the lawn looking up at the.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's interesting along with the little shark fin hat.
Do we want so much blue and red, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
it's
the
too much red, white,
library's
and blue. I
logo
don't.
is more true to the colors.
So the initial direction was to be reproducible, easily reproducible.
Yeah.
So imagine this as a car magnet, or a
Yeah.
sticker.
Logo on a letterhead or something.
Yeah. So there's competing,
Yeah, you start
Interest
getting into
there.
grays, that's not gonna,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
What are those dates in the middle, Kenny?
1776, 2026.
They're so small, that's.
Yeah.
It is.
they should
Well,
cut
for us
out
younger
one.
people, it's not that small.
So there's an opportunity for embellishments here, right? So
Yeah.
if we say, hey, listen, you said the date or the how many years, like 3 times, so he'll figure that out.
Mhm.
I don't know if 250 years makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's an opportunity once something comes out that something goes in. So like, I don't know what it is. If
It could almost, I could see like, instead of 250 years, it's like South Kingstown, like
Yeah.
that scale,
Yeah.
and then that South Kingstown is, USA to,
I'm looking at here, some of it
1776 or
they're
something like
calling
that.
America
Something big,
250.
America 250.
Some of them count, I'm looking at the different names online.
I think,
America 250 is one of them.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was the White House, or that's because then there's
America
Revolution
250.
250, there's all different number names.
that's
like, I think
I don't
anything
know.
like South Kingstown, that should be America 250, or that's the prominence of what
Yeah.
we're proposing.
And the imagery
The-
reflects South Kingstown, I guess, is what you're saying.
okay.
But,
I mean, we could still put South Kingston.
Yeah, but-
somewhere, but.
You know,
yeah, so
That's
we're
our-
the,
Just a thought, if you give me this job, I'm a cartographer, so I would think about it, I would start with a map somewhere, a map either of South Kingstown or the country, and squeeze that in somewhere in the overall design. It's just an idea,
Mhm.
if a map is appropriate somewhere,
And
that's my thinking.
I think the idea is we get this core logo down, and then there's going to be a T-shirt version, or there's going to be
Yeah.
another version where you can overlay it on other
Yeah,
things.
play around with that.
The glass version, I like the 300th.
what do we think of the font?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it's old timey
Yeah,
printing press, but
Yeah.
maybe not a
leaning
little bit
toward
too old timey.
cartoonish.
oh, really? See, no, I thought it reminded me of 1776, like it reminded me of the
Oh.
bicentennial type of.
1776 thing, yeah, 1776 was very
I
stylized.
would make it thinner.
But not quill pen, right? That's a little bit
No,
too
no.
articulate. Well, that's not what this is. So I mean, so we could ask them, for couple options for the typeface.
Thinner types are more legible. When you make it bolder, it's harder to read really quick from a distance. It's sort of squashed in, you know what I mean? That's my own preference.
Okay. So just reply to all comments on the graphic. I'll have him come up with some changes.
Oh, I thought you was writing all this shit down, man.
Oh, yeah, it's all up here.
And I will say that it's far better than I could ever done.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
so
same.
I'll start with that.
I'm gonna jump over to website, because Chloe got this done, and it is, where is it?
Oh,
Here.
So I
So
guess
we
we
do
want to
have
keep
a-
to our standard and say, make a motion to extend the meeting. All right,
Second motion.
all those opposed?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all right, so thank you, Chloe, for putting this all together. So we have our baseline 250th. Is this live?
It is live. Yep.
I mean-
Terry and I made it live yesterday. So there's 2 copies. So there's a copy that's on the back end that has what was shown at the last meeting.
Mhm.
That has more template. It's a lot more robust, and this is like most concrete information that we were able to get for this.
Okay.
So it is live, but it hasn't been promoted anywhere.
Gotcha.
So this is why we're interested in dates and, you know, because we can't really, there's not much we can put up here. As soon as we get the logo, that can go up, you know, and then it's just really waiting for all of the details. We should have a link to your stuff too, I think, from the library, if you're
Yeah.
amenable to that, because that really is connected and we can add that.
Maybe we can
But,
connect on
you know,
that.
it's pretty dry right
No,
now, but it's a start.
It is a start.
Oh, yes, September 26th, you did that.
Yep, and it is a full moon.
Okay.
It
yeah.
is what?
It is a full
Yeah.
moon. And
So,
fires are beautiful.
Oh, that one
won't
fire we
need
had
one.
with a full moon in the background, man, that was spectacular.
Terry, don't you remember that
You took a picture of it
at the town beach?
Yeah.
Wasn't that great?
Oh, yeah.
with a fire and a moon.
Uh-huh.
Terry, you know what, you should do that again.
Yeah, let's just do
All
that.
right.
And then maybe we could have a dance as well.
In the interest of time, so, unless you had anything else for social media, I mean, you need content, right?
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, just getting the dates. The sooner people know about it, the more traction you'll gain. So that's the best chance of getting people involved, is just the earlier the better. And if you guys are still interested in Facebook, we could talk about that at the next meeting, because having just it on the website you might want to have it other places too.
Yeah.
So whatever you guys decide, we can.
Yeah, thank you, because I have been liking and starting to share some of these malicious, not like social media algorithm is all cattywampus, it's all upside down.
That's a good word right there.
Yeah, it's a nickel word. Next meeting, I'm sorry, I cannot make, the next meeting. I have a meeting from 5:30 to 7:30, at the rec center with the South County Habitat for Humanity. I could meet another time, I can meet earlier.
What time is your meeting?
It's, let me just look here. Next week is the week after.
19.
5:30 to 7. So, I have Monday, I have Wednesday.
I can't do Monday, it's the beach concert.
That's right.
Can you do Wednesday?
Yeah, but I'm not, yes, I'm available Wednesday.
I make a motion that we have our next meeting on August 20th at 5 p.m.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion about this? Again, my apologies. I intend to maybe have a full group or slate of officers, so if I can attend them, we can still have the meetings. Any other discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so moved. Thank you.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.